Checking in from Bishop, California. Today's episode sponsored by a sandwich that I had at the local brewery in town, Mountain Rambler Brewing. They make really good beer and really good food. Check it out if you're in town. They had a Tempeh Reuben sandwich and it was delicious. So I am going to try and recreate it myself. See how it goes. But first, I think there's some important things we need. For a Tempeh Reuben sandwich, we kind of need some tempeh. And for a Reuben, you need some really good bread. So let's go get that now. The famous Eric Schatz Bakery. Usually pretty busy, but also a bit pricey. Unless you go into the way back discount rack. Shepherd's bread, golden raisin, chili cheese rolls, French bread. Ooh, rye bread. Let's get some tempeh. What do we got? Smoky maple bacon. There's that guy again, all vegan. And if you wanted to make it vegan, you could get yourself some veganese, maybe some vegan cheese, but I'm not buying that. I do love my cheese. And we're on the old dusty road back to camp. Oh, bumpy road back to camp. Sehr gut. Before we do anything, we need a drink. Get yourself a warm beer from your car, and instead of a Waffle House mug, because it's in Massachusetts, get yourself a cool mug from the thrift store. Okay, so step one, a Reuben calls for sauerkraut. I'm not a big fan of sauerkraut, just don't really like it that much. I'm gonna go with just sort of quickly pickling some red cabbage. I also don't have white vinegar, but we're gonna try using some cider vinegar, which I have in my car, and see what happens. So we'll set that aside. First thing we'll do is toast the bread. Just a touch of olive oil. Ideally you'd use butter, but it's 80 degrees here in Bishop, and butter just doesn't really appreciate those kind of temperatures. For the Tempeh Reuben sandwich, you want thin strips and you want to marinate it, but this is already in strips and it's marinated, so I guess that skips a few steps. We've got some toasted bread. Let's fry up the tempeh. Some salt, pepper, garlic. Let's make some sort of Russian-ish dressing. Spoonful of mayo, a little bit of ketchup. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I've never made Russian dressing. A little bit of mustard, some garlic powder, and some relish. Sorry if this is just butchering a super classic sandwich. I've never actually had a true Reuben sandwich. Back when I ate meat when I was 15, I did not experiment much with foods. I had what I liked and I stuck to it. Flip these. Nice. We also need cheese. This stuff is not doing so well. Sitting in my warm car. Spread on some dressing. Ooh, that smells good. Now ideally I'd let this sit overnight, but I didn't plan ahead, so we're basically just gonna put some raw cabbage on the sandwich. What a hack. I guess you could call that a Tempeh Reuben sandwich. You could probably throw it back in the pan for a second to melt the cheese a little bit more, but I'm not bothering with that. I'm just gonna eat it. Well, like most things I make, it tastes good enough to eat. It's got good flavors. The vinegar is nice with the smoky tempeh. Good mixture of textures. Cool, I recommend trying it. If you want, I don't care. Till next time, cheers.